Okay, I think we're good to go.
Okay. Perfect. Is the chat, did you enable the chat at all? Can you enable that?
Yes. All right, so they'll be on Zoom and our live stream. So let me send the link out, but all of the chats primarily in the streams.
Okay. I just want to give another minute. I see people are joining now, so. Oh. Oh, wow, that's a crazy delay. Okay. Okay, people are joining, so we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone to the BIC Mentorship Informational. During this meeting, you guys will learn about the program, the mentorship program. We're in our inauguration of this program. And during this program, you'll learn what it takes to become a mentor and what a mentee as well. So welcome to BIC Blacks in Cybersecurity headquarters. So I want to do a quick introduction. First, I will introduce myself and I will let my colleagues introduce themselves as well. So my name is Joseph Brown. I'm the mentorship coordinator here at BIC. I've been in cybersecurity for about 14 years. I'm currently an architect for Hudson's Bay Company. I'm a security architect. I've worked in a lot of different industries, everything from Johnson & Johnson to Unilever. And now I work for Hudson's Bay, which owns Saks Fifth Avenue. So that's basically what I do. I joined BIC because I really believe, in giving back and, ushering the next group of people into cybersecurity. And it's a very big passion of mine. So next, I'd like to introduce Jessica Hoffman, who's one of the committee members, and let her introduce herself.
Thank you, Joe. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jessica Hoffman. I'm pretty new to Blacks in Cybersecurity Group, but I just dove right in, and I'm really looking forward to giving back. I've been in the field for 10 years security, 15 years IT, having a great time, made a lot of great partnerships and networking, and I think that it's important that we support each other. So I'm very honored and pleased to be a part of this committee, and I look forward to all of the fruitfulness that comes with it. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you. And Chad, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure thing. Hello, everyone. My name's Chad. I've been in IT for about 13 years. I probably spent the last 6 of those years in cyber. I'm currently working as a cyber systems engineer. I also serve as the HBCU coordinator here with Blacks in Cyber. I'm happy and excited to be a part of this mentorship board. And my why is you guys. When I joined Blacks in Cyber, I just felt like I had something to offer just from my experiences that I've had throughout my career. Throughout my career, I've had the luxury of actually having a mentor. So I can kind of attest to the benefits that a mentorship can bring someone. And for me, at the end of the day, personally, my legacy won't be built on some project or a job or work. It'll be the relationships that I built with people. And hopefully throughout this mentorship program, you guys can kind of learn a lot if you choose to participate and hopefully pay it forward.
Great, thank you. So these two have been, integral into creating this program. And if you're in the chats, they will be moderating. And if you have any questions, please ask them in the chats. And towards the end, we will, go and answer some questions if they weren't already answered. But please feel free to ask questions in the chat. So we want to first tell, everyone a little bit about the BIC organization, right? Some of you guys that are on this might not know who we are, right? So BIC is about building the community. What community? Community of Blacks in cybersecurity, right? It's when you look, like, for example, myself being in cybersecurity and working over the course of years, there's not a lot of representation within cybersecurity from Blacks, right? And so I'm usually one of the very one or few people within a team. So, this organization really wants to change that and bring everybody up that's interested in cybersecurity. So a little bit of history about Black cybersecurity. This was founded in 2018, and it was really founded as a conference series where it's really working with the community and really just bringing everybody up and building the culture and ushering people into cybersecurity that are interested in getting into that field. So 2018, 3 years, massive growth over the last couple of years, and the growth is going to continue to go. So in the community, right now, it still is, and I don't want to say right now, but BIC is based out of Washington, D.C., headquartered. However, there are members globally, right? It's not just NYC based or metro based. I'm out of New Jersey, right outside of New York City. Jessica's from Pennsylvania. We have Chad that's from down south. So, it's all over, right? And so one of the ways to get involved is by joining our Slack community. It's very big. A lot of things are going on. There's so many things happening there, and that's probably one of the best ways to get in, understand and involved. So if you want to get more information about it, you can go to that link down here, and you can get signed up to join our Slack channel. And there's a location pretty much for everywhere. And that would definitely, get involved in community and, help build your brand. So, I want to also talk about our what we CLADP, the Cybersecurity Literacy and Development Program. So what this is basically the training programs that help to bring people into cybersecurity, and not only bring them in, but grow them within the cybersecurity field, right? And there's different programs within that. So I want to quickly show you, here are some of the programs that we have, right? So we have BIC entrepreneurship groups, people that want to start their own business. Overall BIC training program that want to help people with, getting different trainings within let's say becoming a SOC engineer or whatever else. Certification, right? If you're going after a particular cert like CISSP or Security Plus. But we are the BIC Mentorship Program. So the BIC Mentorship Program is where we're at, where we fall under this literacy program. So I quickly want to talk about what our purpose statement is. And it's a little bit of a lot, but I'm going to read it verbatim. So essentially, the Blacks in Cybersecurity Mentoring Program's purpose is to provide mentorship opportunities for underrepresented minorities who are seeking opportunities within the cybersecurity field. Mentees will be afforded the opportunity to network with experienced professionals that will allow them to develop new and existing skills focused on honing their groups, their goals, and personal brand in order to be successful in their careers. What is the purpose of this purpose statement? We want to, with this, we don't want to just have people come in and say, hey, I know I can make a lot of money in security, help me, right? We want to be able to help people that are really passionate, that really want to be part of cybersecurity, really want to learn from seasoned professionals, right? And be able to put the time and the effort. This is not a program where if you just kind of sort of do things, you're going to expect miracles, right? So we need everybody to, if you're going to be a mentor, we need the mentors to be really invested in the mentees. Mentees have to put in the work effort as well. It's it's not okay, if I go to this program, will I get a job? It's about building yourself up as an overall cybersecurity professional. So let's talk about the program outline and how the first iteration of this program will go. Enrollment will be into the program. It will be the last quarter of every month, right? Why is that? We don't, I've gotten a lot of, inquiries. Hey, I want to mentor. Can you match me? Can you match me? That's a lot, right? And it's hard to manage. So what we're going to do is have an enrollment period once a quarter, right? So right now we are in February. What does that mean? Starting sometime in March, we will start enrolling people into the program. We will actually start sending out communication saying, hey, if you're interested, please sign up, right? And so that way we can have a little bit more structure. It's not saying, hey, you want to be a mentor, you want to be a mentee, here you go, right? We want to do it a little bit more structured and make sure it's purposeful and meaningful. Mentorships will run in 6-month cycles. The reason why we did this is because we don't want it to be okay, you come in 2 weeks and you think you've been mentored, right? We believe that right now, 6 months is a good amount of time for the mentors and mentees to get to know each other, understand the goals, purposes, and really be able to build that bond that can take them through to the next phase. Now, does that mean that after 6 months, you just lose that mentor or that mentee? No, you can continue on with that. But the cycle starts with 6 months. And then for this first inaugural program, we're going to limit the amount of mentees to 50. Why? Because as I said, it's an inaugural program. There are going to be some bumps in, things that are going to go along the way and that we're going to still learn and try to figure out. The goal is that by the next enrollment period, we'll be able to expand that even more, right? But this first inauguration period, we're just going to be learning about how things are interacting and how the program is running. So it's part of the application process is just, we're going to select 50 people. We'll be doing interviews, etc. And you'll learn about that later. But, we want to make sure that people that are coming in really want to be there. So it's the maximum, as I said, for the first round, the maximum amount of mentees will be 50. So what does the program include? So mentors and mentees will create an individualized success plan, right? So, when you first get paired up, the mentors and mentees will, meet and understand what does the mentee want to get out of this mentorship, right? What is the ultimate goal that everything, we all want to do, right? And creating an individualized success plan, it's not a rubber stamp of, okay, you follow these things to your mentor. It's making sure that we understand your needs, your wants of the program, and then cater it to you. We'll be having monthly BIC mentorship meetings that will be, all of us getting together as a mentorship, cohort, and really start understanding, we'll work on getting speakers involved, we can have different topics. There's a lot of things that we'll do on a monthly basis as a whole group. That doesn't mean you don't meet with your mentor outside of that. We encourage it, but as a mentorship, cohort will meet as a on monthly basis. And metrics reporting. What does that mean? We want to make sure that what we're doing is successful. We want to make sure that we are providing the best service for you and you're successful, right? And how do we do that is by getting metrics reports. We don't want to just give you a program and say, here you go, bye, you're done. We want to make sure that we are giving you the best possible product that you can get out of this program. So let's talk about the program outline, the matching process, right? So we decided on some very key things that we're going to look for when matching mentors to mentees. So, what field you are in the cybersecurity field is pretty important. Why is that? We don't want, it doesn't make sense, logically to, give somebody that's a cloud security engineer to a somebody that is risk governance compliance, right? It's not a good pairing because they're on very, very different tracks within cybersecurity. So we want to be conscious of that. The other thing is that it's experience. So within cybersecurity, if you have 5 years of cybersecurity experience, it doesn't make sense to match you up with somebody that also has 5 years of cybersecurity experience, right? We want to make sure that, we properly pair you up with somebody within cybersecurity along with the field, within IT. So there's a lot of people that are in IT that have reached out to me, says, hey, I want to break into security. I want to do this, right? So we want to make sure that we are pairing you up with somebody that knows and can help you with getting into that. And somebody that's not in IT at all, right? I've also gotten a lot of people reach out to me that want to get into IT security. They don't have an IT background. They come from, a business background or, shoveling snow background, right? So what we want to do is be able to pair people up that can, properly guide you towards the right way. Location is big. Why? Because we want to make sure that we're conscious of especially time zones, right? So if somebody's in California, it might be hard to link them up with somebody in New York because of the massive time zone difference. Also, the goal would also be is that once we get out of this lovely COVID and lockdown situation, we can start having, local meetups with, mentors, mentees, and really just start, really building the relationship between mentor and mentees. And your overall goal, right? So this kind of goes into the experience a little bit. Are you looking to enter cybersecurity field for the first time, right? Whether in your IT or not. Growth within cybersecurity. So if you're in cybersecurity, but you want to, go from being a security engineer to security architect, right? What does that take? What do you have to learn? What do you have to do? And a certification, right? So if your big goal is to, get your security plus, right? Match you up with somebody that knows how to, can help guide you to get to that security plus or that CISSP. So these are the main things. These aren't the only things that we're going to use, but these are the key indicators that we're going to use when it comes to matching mentors and mentees. So mentors, people that want to be mentors. We have some guidelines, not requirements, but these are guidelines, right? So the ideal candidate, to read the top part, the ideal candidate will be someone that has passion, time, and dedication to help others, right? So we don't want mentors to come in and just want to have it something that's on their resume, but not really make a lasting impression or a lasting effect on a mentee's career. So with that, we request that the mentor has a minimum of about 5 years experience, and we will ask for a resume to make sure that, it makes sense and is a good fit. we ask that they commit to at least 5 hours a month for a 6-month period, right? So don't forget, it's a 6-month cycle, a minimum of 5 hours. If you do 30 hours, great, that's awesome. But a minimum of 5 hours, that's a little over an hour a week that you can spend with the mentee to understand what their wants, needs, and help guide them. Creating an individual plan for each mentee, right? So we want to make sure that you are understanding what the mentee wants to get. And it also helps you understand, okay, are you being successful in that plan? And it'll help us as an organization know if we are moving in the right direction. And then the other thing is no more than 3 mentees to a mentor. So that is because we want to make sure that each mentee gets, individualized as much as possible attention, right? When would we match people, more than one mentee to a mentor? Prime example, if a couple people are looking to get their Security Plus, it might make sense to kind of match them together because they have similar goals, right? The idea is to always have one-to-one, but sometimes it might make sense to have one-to-many. But as I said, the max will always be 3. And so now let's talk about the Mentee Guidelines. You'll see a consistent trend here, which is someone who has the passion, time, and dedication to growing into a successful cybersecurity professional. So once again, you're going to consistently hear this theme throughout the entire program. You have to have the passion, the time, the dedication, right? Things don't come if you just sit around. It's going to take time, right? You're going to have to work for it. So as long as you're, willing to work for it and dedicate time to it, you're in the right place. So we're gearing at least this first inauguration program to be someone within the the college level or above, as a mentee. Why? Because those, generally they're already in college, they're starting to take classes that are dedicated to security. They kind of have that idea formed, and it's an ideal place to, get to. However, if you are under 18, there are other programs within BIC that can help out. And by joining the Slack program, you can learn about those programs as well. Commitment to at least 5 hours a month as well, right? That's consistent with mentors. So we have the same criteria for the mentees as well. Follow the plan, right? It doesn't help if the mentor makes a plan and the mentee doesn't follow it. So you have to dedicate yourself to following the plan that's drafted by the mentor and keeping an open mind. And I want to stress that quite a bit because keeping an open mind is so important. When you're going into it, if, a lot of people sometimes will just say, oh, that doesn't make sense. Why? That seems weird. Well, you know what? Maybe it might seem weird, but you know what? The mentor must know something, right? And so keep an open mind into what they're saying, right? So that's what we ask when you're from a mentee, when you're coming in, keep an open mind. So what are the next steps? The next steps will be, we will be sending out within the next week or so, we'll be setting up a sign-up form. You'll see it on Slack. You'll see it. We'll post it on LinkedIn if you guys came here. But we will be sending out a sign-up form for whether you want to be a mentor or mentee, right? Also, if you want to help out with the committee as well, we're still looking for a few other people to help out with the committee a little bit to help organize. So if you are willing to help out with organizing a lot of the things and you can dedicate time to that, that would be awesome as well. Then what we're going to do is we're going to be interviewing the mentor mentees, right? And why are we going to do this? We want to make sure we have the right people for this inauguration program. We want to make sure that we are able to match people properly with the proper mentor mentees. Then what we'll do is we'll introduce the mentor mentee pairs, have a kickoff, have them exchange information, and then eventually have a kickoff meeting. The kickoff meeting would be in April, which is the beginning of the quarter, right? So if you notice that the signups happen at the end of one quarter and then they begin at the next quarter. So it's not between sign up, it's a lot of work that's happening between sign up, interviews, pairing, and kickoff. It's not a long period. So in conclusion, basically, if you want to follow us, we're in every, we're on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. The website's down there. If you ever are on any of the channel, like Instagram or Twitter, use these handles, right? It's great, especially if you're on LinkedIn. Use these handles. There's always somebody monitoring. If you have a question, I implore you to, if you have questions, there's plenty of email addresses on the website. You can find myself, you can find Chad, you can find Jessica on LinkedIn. Message us, add us. Start building out your brand. Start building out, your cohort, as you will. And that's it. So that's basically the program. There's a lot more to come. So what I want to do is ask Chad and Jessica if there were any questions in the chat that we can answer.
So I see a couple questions. Well, it's the same question. We have some folks looking for a career change. Is this mentorship program structured for those folks that are looking to go into a new career?
Great question. So one of the things that and I'll go back to that slide. So one of the things that we are focusing on is people that are not within IT, whether they're not within IT and want a career change, right? So we want to cater to that as well, right? So that is one of the criteria that we're hoping to do. It's not just people that are already in cybersecurity, but people that want to get into cybersecurity. The idea is to build the cybersecurity, Blacks in cybersecurity. That is the ultimate goal, is to build that. But good question.
So we have someone looking for more professional development. Is that something that would be offered throughout this program?
So I professional development within cybersecurity, I guess, is the question. If you're saying professional development within cybersecurity, we can probably, I don't think there will be something that will be particularly catered, but if that's something you're looking for within cybersecurity, I want to make sure we're honing in on that. That would fall under the goals section, which is growth within cybersecurity, right? So that might not, growth within cybersecurity could mean, okay, you want to, go into a managerial level within cybersecurity, right? Or, it could mean, hey, you want to go from a regular analyst to an engineer, right? Those are the type of growth opportunities within cybersecurity that would fit into that realm.
Well, just to add on to that, from a professional development perspective, if the premise or one of the premises behind that question was regarding preparation for interviews and assistance with reviewing resumes and what particular articles or blogs or podcasts to listen to, things of that nature, absolutely. And that's why the initial pairing process and interview process is fundamental, because we need to know as a mentee what it is you're looking for. And typically within this field, as far as certifications, you may or may not, 6 months may not be enough to get a certification. But if that's on your list and you've never done, you're just coming into the field and whatnot, that's why it's very important that we find out what your goals are, because it might not happen in the 6 months. And most of the time it won't achieve all your career goals, especially with the certifications. But certainly your mentor and this program, the mentorship program itself, we're here to support you long after that and help you develop a plan to achieve those goals beyond the 6 months. Not saying you can't still keep in contact and so forth, because that's really what this is about. Making those partnerships, as Chad mentioned, are fundamental in the success in any career, particularly cybersecurity. As we just stated, there's a need for women in this career field, for Black women in this career field, for Black and brown folks in this career field in general. And just generally, there's a large shortage in this field, but yet it is still important that you have the structure, especially the certifications, depending on your position. So just wanted to piggyback that from a professional development perspective. We cover it above and beyond your plans, your career goals for the next 1 to 5 years. But we also definitely will be there to assist with any interview questions or just LinkedIn, how to present yourself from a branding perspective. Small business, I'm in business development as well. So a lot of the times we wear multiple hats. So that's why it's pretty exciting to see, especially if you're not sure what you want to do in cybersecurity, there's a lot of things you can do, and you can do all of them at the same time. So it's a very awesome career. If you are looking into switching up your game, you won't be sorry. It's very exciting. Every day there's something new, and that's why we want to get professional folks together as we can to assist and whatever your needs are in that respect. But definitely professionalism is at the top of the value and the metrics we're going to be measuring to make sure that that's what you get out of this program.
Right. So this is a good one. I don't think we covered this, but I'm sure we can answer it. So is this program also available for folks outside of the US?
Great question. So there are no restrictions on location. However, we want to be conscious of people when we're matching mentors and mentees, right? If people are willing to work around schedules, right? So if somebody is in India, for example, which is 11 and a half hours ahead of us, and somebody is in California, actually, no, I'm New York, because I'm in New York. That could be a little bit difficult to match somebody up with properly, right? So it's not out of the realm of somebody having it. I still encourage you to apply, right? And if we can match somebody up that is able to do the time, that is not, we are more than willing and more than welcome to having somebody that's outside of the US to be a mentor or mentee. So that's a great question.
Yes, we have good questions here. Here's another one. So if you're transitioning from military to commercial, is this the right program?
So, I think that this program's not structured, how do I put this? This program is not about going from military to commercial, whatever else. It's about growth within cybersecurity, right? So whatever that means. So I don't want to say yes, it is. I don't want to say no, it is, right? So that's too much of a generalized question. I think it's, what is your ultimate goal besides going from military to commercial, right? So are you looking at getting a job, are you looking at growing, into a SOC analyst? Are you looking at growing to this, right? So, if it is, great, let's do that. Let's get a program. Let's try to match you with a mentor that has, can give you insight into that. I know there's a couple of mentors that have reached out to me that have backgrounds in, military and stuff like that. So that is something that's not out of the realm of possibility. But I can't say that, we can say, yes, we're going to transition you from being from the military to commercial, and this is how we're going to do it, right? There's no 5-point plan to get you to a place, right? That's why, as Jessica said, and I said earlier, is that understanding what your goals are and then matching you with somebody, that can help you get to those goals, and then creating an individual plan to get there, right? So there's no cookie cutter way where this program is going to work. It's not a cookie cutter. That's why it's a very individualized approach to you, right? So hopefully that answers your question.
Well, just to supplement what you just said, Joe, I agree with everything you just said, and that's not necessarily the best way to describe the transitional process or what we're trying to do. But if you're in the DMV area, or if you're looking for government service work, I've talked to a couple people this week about what an ISSO is in the position, which that's a government titled position. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But absolutely, if you're in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, there's a wealth of government positions, that we probably do have a pool of mentors that have experience, but we can't guarantee that essentially. But it's definitely a good area to be in if you're transitioning from military to civilian life and want to work for the government.
Okay, I think that is all the questions related to the mentorship program that I see.
I believe there's one other one. If you don't mind, it was somebody asked, are there opportunities to get your foot in the door without certs or security degree? And that might have been a question after I was speaking earlier about the certifications. And I think we all have our own views on certifications, but probably the most common one is that they suck. And they're not always easy to obtain, and you need to, not just study, but you also have to have X amount of experience and X amount of domains specifically for the CISSP. And it's not an easy feat. But, I'm an advocate for certifications because I know that that will separate you from other people. But again, you don't have to necessarily, absolutely not. If you're the best pen tester in the world, you know what? Nobody's going to care if you have any certifications if you're doing your job correctly. And that's just the name of the game with this particular field. We're in high demand, especially the penetration testers and folks that have those skills that are not common across the workforce. So it does depend. Again, we can all have our own views on certifications. I'm an advocate for them, absolutely, and I think they're well worth your time and effort, especially if you can get your employer to pay for them. But there certainly are plenty of opportunities. It's just the same thing with college. You have your leg up, and it really just depends on what you're looking for. So that's, again, a great question to discuss with your mentors or have on your application, so we can, no matter what, we'll help you get with the research to determine if that's right for you based on your career goals. But absolutely, it can go either way. And I think certs it took me forever to get my CSP. I ain't gonna talk about that all night today, but I got it, and it was the best thing for me for my career. It really was. So Chad, Joe, I know we've talked about certifications before too. So if you guys want to add in anything on that.
Yeah, I'll add in. I have the only reason why I have a cert was because I would say about 5-6 years ago, my CISO came to me, said, go get this certification and I'll pay for it. And I said, sure, as long as you're paying for it. So I had been in the industry for about 8-9 years without a certification. Nowadays, it's a good way to get your foot in the door. Can you get your foot in the door without it? Absolutely, right? But it helps you get through, to be perfectly honest, it helps you get past that first layer, which is HR or that recruiter, right? It's going to help. And that's my personal opinion. It's going to help you, and that's one of the things that, the mentor will, guide you through, right? So there's certain barriers that you have to get through to get that interview, right? So sometimes having a certification will get you past that barrier. I am an advocate, as she is, for certifications. It's what I'm not an advocate for is getting certifications for the sake of certifications, or just having your name with 10,000 certifications next to it, right? Because then it's not, as meaningful. So, Chad?
Hey, I concur. I'm actually studying for the CISSP right now. So again, if the certification route is something that you guys are interested in, please do be as detailed and specific as possible when signing up and during your interviews. And we'll hopefully match you with someone who can help cater to your needs.
Great. Any other questions at all from the chat?
Yes. So here's a question. How long can we keep our mentors? Past 6 months?
Forever, right? So we were talking about this. So there's no, so the 6 month is where we're is the area where we feel like you can start building that relationship with that mentor and everything else, right? But if you want to keep that mentor for longer, keep going. We'll just keep going, right? And then if you guys are saying, hey, we're gonna just continue outside of the program, by all means, right? There's no, just because we put the 6 month, area, it doesn't mean that after that we're going to split you up and then you get signed another one, or you're just done with the program. If you guys are getting along great, by all means, let's continue the success, right? That's the goal of it.
it'll create a long-lasting relationship. I mentioned before, I've had a mentor since I was, I don't know, past 8 years, same mentor. The whole purpose of this is to create that long-lasting relationship in the event that you come across something that you need that advice on. Just text your mentor, and you guys can keep it informal. It doesn't have to be anything formal at that point.
Great. Any other questions?
So catering to those who just want to build a specific skill set in the industry. I'm not necessarily sure what you mean, green tea bag. Can you help me out?
I could take a stab at it. And hopefully it's all about what your goal is with the program, right? So if you want to learn, more about, better ways to, pen test, right? Or, if that's what you mean, like you want to become a better pen tester, you want to be a better SOC analyst, you want to be a better something, right? It's all about the goals. It's all about the goals. As if you notice, there's never if you want to do this is great for you. We didn't give a list of criteria that said, if you want to do this or this or this or this and this. No, it's about the goals, your individual goals. Hopefully that answered the question. Okay. Any last questions before we wrap this up?
Somebody did ask, what are some challenges that you face as a cybersecurity professional? And I'm gonna let you guys answer this, but I think that's a really great question, and that's something that this program is about, right? We are still working through the program, all the program details as mentioned, but we wanted to introduce this to you all and get your initial feedback and initial signups to engage interest and just beginning to put things together. So we're very much still in the works, and we are requesting your feedback on what you're looking for. So what are some challenges that you face as a cybersecurity professional? Those are some of the things that we're going to be talking about. Your mentors will be talking about with you all, that we'll be talking about with the entire program, the entire cohort. So I'll just say one, probably the most challenging thing for a cybersecurity professional is talking to non-cybersecurity professionals and trying to get them to understand what's going on and speak their language, layman language, because you probably have heard before, security is always baked on instead of baked in. So it's an afterthought. So that's definitely one of the high level, or I should say holistic challenges that encompasses a lot of things, that you got to learn how to interact with people who aren't necessarily technical, and especially not cybersecurity savvy, in order to get your point across from whatever field or particular what's a particular area of cybersecurity that you're in. Joe, you have anything to add?
I can spend a whole hour on that.
Just one. That's why I said just one. Just one.
It's I think one of the biggest challenges is getting people to really it's a consistent challenge, which is getting people to buy in the fact that you're not trying to make their job easier. You're trying to make sure that we all keep a job. Right? Like and that's the simplest way to put it, right? People feel like you're putting up roadblocks and you're making their job harder. No, at the end of the day, we want to keep our jobs, right? And which means you have to do things securely. And trying to convince people that sometimes can be very difficult. Sometimes they just want to say, hey, we got to do this. We got to do this. We're late with our project. We got to do this. And, being able to trying to convince them like, hey, you release this with these type of defects, somebody's going to find it and we're not going to have a job tomorrow. So it's getting people to buy in that they've got to be invested in security as much as you are. I think that's one of my biggest challenges. Chad?
I'm going to kind of go way back to earlier in my career, I mentioned that I had 13 years of IT experience. For about 6 of those years, I was just doing IT. Then when it came time to, look for something new, I decided I wanted to do cybersecurity. I had no certifications. I literally knew zero about cybersecurity. I think a lot of you guys in the chat can probably relate to this. I was looking for my end, and my end didn't come until I got with a mentor. My mentor looked like me. He talked to me, he helped me out. I did some job searching, and it just so happened that he remembered that he had a colleague that was kind of looking for someone. She was a PM. She was on a cyber project. So he introduced us. We spoke, we hit it off, and boom, I got into cyber just like that. But it took a long time. It took a while. It took work. It took effort. I didn't get into cyber until I put the work in, until I met somebody that looked like me. So, like I said, I think a lot of you guys can probably relate to that in the chat. But now that I'm in, I think everything's smooth. But I'm easygoing, so. Joe, you have a fan. You have a podcast that someone enjoys listening to you talk. So they want to know if you have a podcast.
No, I don't. No, I don't. No. That's the only answer I have. No. Thought about it, but no.
We'll put that on the to-do list, Joe. We'll put
sure.
that. Okay.
Yes.
Any last questions? No?
I think we're good.
All right. Well, I think we will wrap up this live. I appreciate everybody for joining this live and getting more information. Please keep an eye out for more information. I implore everyone to join the Slack. There's an actual Slack channel that is about mentorship. I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to find us on LinkedIn. Find Black Cybersecurity on LinkedIn. Find myself on LinkedIn. Find Jessica and Chad on LinkedIn. So as soon as we drop the application to become a mentor mentee, you can apply right away because it's going to move very fast. Okay. Once again, thank you guys for taking your Friday evening out to listen to me and Chad and Jessica speak. And thank you again.
Man, you got a lot of fans.
Thanks, everybody. I know, I'm jealous, man.
Wow. Y'all don't like me?
That was